Hey everyone, this is Mimi Obonsman. I'm a singer-songwriter and I've been an arts facilitator with ArtsCan Circle for a couple years. And I'm here today in Sudbury, Ontario, my hometown, which is located on Ojibwe territory in Northeastern Ontario. And together today we're going to be making crafts with things that you can find in nature and around the house. It's going to be a window charm or a wall hanging, and it's a lot of fun. I love playing with different colors and different textures, so let's just get to it. What I love about doing crafts with things that you can find outside is that you don't need a lot of materials. So what you need to do is first go outside, listen to the birds, take in some fresh air, and you can go and find a stick or two. You can either choose to have a stick just like this, plain, or if you look at the example I made before, this one has an extra little part. So this is a bit more complicated, but find a stick that you really like. And make sure that it's solid enough so that when you're wrapping string around it doesn't break. So a good thickness. I like to use birch bark. You can use pine cones. I have a couple different kinds of pine cones, as you can see here. I found these little stones. And if you live near water or a river, you can find some nice polished round little stones. Something that you really like that resonates with you. I couldn't find any feathers, so I grabbed a little bit of cedar. But you can use feathers, you can use shells if you have them in your house, you can use acorns. And yeah, if you want to add something really personal, you could add either a charm or a piece of jewelry, something that represents you. So you'll need that from outside. And then inside, it's really simple. You can use yarn or any kind of string you have. I found this. If you wanted something more earthy, you could use something like this. If you don't have yarn, but you have a whole lot of embroidery string, we use these for bracelets often, so you could use that. I have a couple different colors of yarn. When you're doing embroidery string, the yarn wrapping will look a bit tighter, so it'll look like that instead of looking like this. So just to show you the difference. And then you can choose to have a marker. I like to add a little message on the birch bark, so you can use that. You'll need some scissors, and I think that's it. You're gonna grab your stick and cut off, see how there's little bits here? So I'm gonna try and cut those off a little bit just to make it more even. If there's a big one like that and you wanna keep it, that's up to you, but I'm gonna cut that off. Cut this off. This one might be a bit hard. There you go. There you go. So now you have a nice stick here, and you're gonna start weaving rope around. So I'm gonna use yarn. So the first thing you want to do is leave a little bit of space about that far on your stick, and you're gonna tie a knot. So just a regular knot, nice and tight, but not too tight to break your stick. If you feel like making it super safe, you could do 2 knots. And then you're gonna tuck the stem underneath and start wrapping around. So you very easily just wrap around the stick. And you can go over if you want, like that, or you can just keep going down. It doesn't have to be too tight. If you're working with yarn, it goes a little bit faster. So I like this yarn because you can see it changes colors for me. But say you're using solid colors and you want it to change colors, so I'll show you how to do that. So what you're gonna do is leave a little string about that long, and cut that, and you're just gonna tie a knot, really simple, just to hold it down. So you go around the stick and through the hoop here, just to hold it down. So then you pick the next color you want to use. So I'm gonna put some green in here this time. So you can either pre-cut or just pull out. I'm gonna cut this one a little bit. So you're gonna go and tie another knot and do the same thing you did at the beginning. Just tie a little knot, and you're gonna tuck the stem inside, and you're just gonna keep on wrapping. Getting to the next part where we're going to change colors again. So you can just cut this here. So you're going to tie a knot. Alright, see, got a knot there. So now we're going to go use some pink here. I have some pink. Just going to cut a piece of that. So now I'm going to show you how to make a bit of a design in here. So for the X design, you're going to tie a knot in the middle of the string here. So you have 2 long strands. Okay, so we got a knot here. And then what you're going to do is take one side at a time. So you're going to go around like this. Okay, and then back down again. And back to the knot where you started. So that makes a cool kind of design on top there. And then you can just tuck the stem in, the little string, extra string, and then use the other piece to just continue wrapping around. So you can get as creative as you want with whatever colors you want, whatever design. You can change the colors of the string as often as you want. That's why I love this project, is because every stick that you make, every window charm you make is going to be different, and you can really put your own spin on it. And I really think you guys are going to be able to create something really, really beautiful. Okay, so then we're going to go and change colors again. I'm going to use this one this time. So, I'm going to change colors again. You also don't need to change colors if you prefer to have one solid color, or you have this yarn that changes colors for you, even better. So here, just to show you again, if you're using different kinds of string, it'll change the texture. So I wonder what it would look like if you would mix some of the embroidery string with the yarn. I wonder if that would be cool. There you go. I'm just going to tie this extra little stem to this one just to secure it down. And just go like that. Then I'm going to cut these. And I'm going to grab just a little bit more of this colorful string here. Now what I'm going to do is do an X design again on the green. So I'm just going to go backwards and see, you kind of want to spread it out like that. And then you come back up. So it gives a bit of a different design here. And then you just tie a knot around. So now you have your stick. It kind of looks like a magic wand, all decorated. If you don't have rope at home, another thing that you could do is you could paint the stick. So if you have paint or nail polish or permanent markers, but you don't have string, you could paint different sections. So now this is the fun part. We're gonna add our decorations. So I'm gonna put this. So I grabbed these. This one has been chewed by a squirrel. I'm gonna grab maybe one stone. cedar or feathers or anything you find. And then the birch bark. What you need is a piece of string. And we'll start with the pine cone. So pine cones are pretty easy to attach. You can just fit it into the grooves that are already there. Tie a little knot, not too tight to break the pine cone. And then see, it hangs like that. And you can do that with acorns as well. And you just cut the little piece of string here. And you place it wherever you feel like it. So I'm gonna put it about at the beginning here. Start there. And I want it to hang pretty low, so we'll do that. Knot, 2 knots to be safe. Good. And there you go, you got your first piece on. So now we'll do this pine cone because it's so cool. And I'll put this pine cone at this end. And sometimes you want to play with how far away. So if we look at the example we have already here, you can see that not everything is at the same height. And that gives it a bit of a dynamic here. So you can play around with how far you want things to hang. So this one will make it on a shorter piece like that. And if you want to get really fancy, what you could use is fishing wire because it's see-through, and then you use that to tie your found objects on it, so then when it hangs in the window you won't be able to see the string. So that could be pretty cool, make it look more mysterious. You could also put beads if you have beads at your house. And if you also have white glue or hot glue, you could put a little dab of glue right there just to hold the string down and let it dry, but you don't have to. So now we're gonna add a feather or a piece of cedar or a flower, a dried flower, anything you want. So I'm just gonna cut this little piece off there, a piece there. I'm just gonna tie a knot around the top. And we're gonna put that one on this, in the center maybe. So just to show you where we're at here. So we have 3. So now what we're gonna do is the stones. So the stones are a bit more challenging. You really want to work with the grooves that are in the stone to tie it, and you want to tie it really tight. You can also use glue if you want. So what I like to do is work with the rock. So see how it has this groove right there? So I'm gonna tie a rope there and tie a knot really, really tight. And then you want to hold the knot and tie another one just to be safe. And then if you have glue, I would suggest putting a little bit of glue there. And then you see that I have another groove in this rock right there. So I'm gonna go on this side and crisscross and tie a knot on the other side. Nice and tight. You don't need glue, but it always helps. Okay. So now you have like a little crisscross. Holding the rock in place, you can tug on it, make sure it's tight, it's not going anywhere. Perfect. I don't suggest using too big of a rock because it'll be too heavy on your stick, so a nice little piece like that. Cut this off, and I think we'll put this one on the side here. piece, my favorite part, is we're gonna take a piece of birch bark. So I like this side, but if you prefer this side, it's up to you. You can use any kind of bark you want. You can use whatever you want. You could use a piece of paper, whatever you want. And I'm gonna write a little message on here. So let's say you were giving this to somebody, you could write I love you or I appreciate you. If you wanted this for in your bedroom or in your room, you could write, something encouraging. You can do this, or, keep your head up, something that you'll see every day. And this really goes back to what I was talking about, putting positive energy and love into something. Another thing you could do if you're gifting this to an elder in your community or somebody in your family, you can also add a tobacco tie or a little medicine pouch. I've done that before. You could do that. You could paint this as well if you wanted to paint a sunset or, picture of your family. You can decorate it how you want. So you can either leave the piece of birch bark as is, but if you wanted to cut it, if you look at the other example here, this one's cut more into a square. But for this one, I think I'm just gonna leave it because I like the shape of it. So all you need to do now is make a little hole. And I'm just gonna make a little hole, maybe right here with the stick. You can use an earring or a needle or something. You don't have to push hard because it'll rip. There. And then you're gonna grab a piece of string and you're just gonna pass it through the little hole, which can sometimes be challenging. So you gotta be really gentle with the paper. Take your time. So, see, just pass it through the hole. Now, a really fun way to cover this hole is you take a string and you make a big knot. So how I like to do this is wrap this piece over and over again here. So it makes a bigger knot, see? And then you can just pull it right to the hole. And cut that. And there you go. So you want to tie this onto your stick so it's facing forward. Now what we have to do is just add a piece that's hanging on the top here. So you can braid this if you want, if you know how to braid, or you could use something that you have at your house. But for now, we're just gonna use a piece. So you choose however long you want it, and you're gonna tie a knot at the end of your yarn on each side. So we're gonna go here. And then we're gonna go to the other side. You're done. So here we are. Once you've done this and you feel comfortable, you can do different variations. You can get creative with it, you can get funky with it. So if you wanted to step it up another notch, you can make it a triangle where you just wrap the string around the sticks and then connect the sticks together. And then I hung a big pine cone in the middle. Or you can make a triangle and do a dream catcher in the middle, whatever you feel.